Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we will discuss about the constructors with classes. If we recap our previous video where we discuss about the classes, how do we declare the class, how do we instantiate the class, defining the attributes and the method of the class, and then finally accessing the different attributes and the method as well. Now, we will discuss an important concept of the class, which is a constructor, because without constructor or without having the understanding of the constructor, it's going to be really difficult for you to make an efficient use of the classes. So here is my console application example where we have a namespace, we have a default program class, which will be used by the console program itself to run my console application, and this is the main method inside that. So that's no changes at all. This is a by default given thing. Now apart from that, within this region I have created a person class, and this class has got two properties, first name, last name, and it has got a method name is get full name, which concatenates two attributes, first name and last name, combined together and returns the full name. Straight away, simple. Now, as we know that in order to access the attribute and the method of this class, first of all, I need to create an object of the class, which I can create it with the name of the class. So that's the name of the class, as both program and person class are under the same namespace. So I do not have to explicitly specify a using namespace. If your class is into a different namespace, then I have to specify the namespace. Then you have to provide the name of the object. As the IntelliSense suggests, I can have the object name as in person with small p. As soon as you define the instance, you can access the attribute of the person class, like person dot first name, last name, and so on and so on. And I can set the first name, the last name like this. But I'm getting an error. The reason we are getting an error because compiler knows that this object which we have declared, it is unassigned object. We have not assigned any value to the object itself. We are assigning the value to an attribute of the object, but first of all we have to assign a value to the object itself. And to assign a value to an object, which means that there is an instantiation required. If you compare this error with this, for an example, if I declare I as a value and try to use the value of I like this, your compiler will give the same error, like it is not yet declared. So exactly the same error. Whereas if I declare it the value of I like this, then you will get the error will be removed. So similarly, I have to specify the value of the person. How do we specify the value of the class itself? Or I should say, how do we instantiate the class object itself? To instantiate a class object in C# we use the keyword new with a small case, which is a reserved keyword. That keyword tells your compiler that this reference type of object requires an instance to be created with this particular class, and the appropriate memory block will be allocated in the system by the program. So here is the syntax. You use the new keyword and then the name of the class, then opening curly braces and the closing curly braces. If you are using the older version of the C# class, that's the standard way of initializing the class. If you are using a new version, you can simply use the new keyword and then opening braces and curly braces. C# compiler or the latest C# already knows that using the new, as we have declared the name of the class on the left, it means that compiler knows that you are trying to create an object of a person class, and that will work fine. So both the syntax are absolutely okay if you're using the new version of the C#. Now if you look at here, the errors are gone. I'm able to provide the value to these attribute, and also at the same time I can access the method of this person class, which is get full name. If I try and print the value of this attribute which we have set here, that will print the value of full name, which is first name plus the last name. Have a look at that. So here's the result. as we have expected, we have got the full name printed, which is a combination of first name and last name. That's absolutely fine. The initialization or instantiation of this class is working with the help of constructor, or in this case, a default constructor. Every class you create in C#, it is given that you would have a default constructor, or also known as an implicit constructor. How the implicit constructor look at? Can we check that? Well, you can use the keyword CTOR, and then if you press the double tap, that will give you the definition of default constructor. That's the definition of my default constructor for a person class. Now, if you pay attention to the syntax of this default constructor, you have got the access modifier, which in this case public, and then you have got the name of your method. Constructors is also a method, but these are a special type of method which would have an access modifier, but you cannot have the return type with these method or with the constructor. So rule of thumb, you never have a return type. Now, the second thing is the constructor name always remain as the name of your class. That's the second rule, right? If you have it, if you define the method like this, then that becomes your constructor. Let's put a breakpoint here and run our program, and we'll see if our breakpoint comes here when we run the program. So program run is started, breakpoint is activated. I'm going to press F11. And as you can see that as soon as the new keyword is going to be executed by the compiler, the execution arrives at this method, which is our constructor method, and the constructor basically initialize, it returns back to the object, and you get the object of the class, as you can see here, with the default value on all of the attribute. How this method looks like. Now, how this method looks like by the compiler. So this is going to be a default behavior, irrespective of I declare the constructor or not, but this is going to be default behavior, right? When the default constructor or the implicit constructor works. Now, if I want to make changes, or if I want to override the default values which are being assigned by the default constructor, can I set that? Yes, you can. As soon as the breakpoint activated, I'll press F11. As you can see that the breakpoint executes inside the constructor. We have got the values assigned to each of these fields. And now if I take a look at my object, I would see that all my attributes are having the overwritten values which I have set inside the constructor, which is a different from the default value which we were getting it earlier, right? And now if I run the program again, that's what it has been printed here in the console window. Hi, someone. So that's the good thing about the use of constructor. But in this case, as we are explicitly declaring the default constructor here, this is known as the explicit use of the default constructor. Even though this is a default constructor, we are using this constructor explicitly in the program, because implicitly the constructor definition is invisible. So now we have a constructor explicitly declare. We can override the value or the set the value of your map properties which is there inside the class. Now let's look at if we can have a override constructor, like we have override method which we have seen in our previous videos. Can we have an override constructor? Yes, we can have an override constructor. Same definition, you can simply call the CTR, but obviously you can provide the value as in, let's say, name or F name, then string last name, and then in age. Okay, and then similarly you can set those values here like this. Right, let's run that. Now in order to access the override constructor, what you need to do is you have to specify, while instantiating your class, you have to specify which constructor you want to use, right? So if you do not specify anything, by default it will use the default constructor. As you can see that as soon as I put mouse cursor inside the curly braces of a new object, I got a two overload method hint by the compiler. First one is the default constructor. Now if I click here, you will see that it is showing the declaration of the overloaded constructor, which means that if I want to use that overload constructor, I can use it and I can provide the values. I can provide the values like that's it. Now if I run it again, let's put a breakpoint onto both the constructor at the same time and see if that is going to be activated. So this time you can see that default constructor has not been invoked and the overloaded constructor has been invoked with a value which we are providing. All my attributes are having those values and same values I can print it on my console window. There you go, right? So that is known as an overload constructor. I can also have one or more different overloaded constructor, like we can have one or more overloaded method. The difference is just you need to have a differences in terms of the parameters, the number of parameters which you would like to pass or the type of the parameter which you are passing. For an example, if I would like to make use of a constructor which just pass the first name value but does not provide first name value and the last name value but does not provide any age value, so how do I set that particular value? Well, in that case, either you, of course, you can set it like this, it will not make any changes to the edge, or you can also do it like this, that set the default value to the edge for an example, or you can also make a call from one constructor. You can also make a call to another constructor. How do you do that? You can make a call to another constructor like this. I'll show you. For an example, this is my constructor. I want to make a call to this using this keyword. So this is a keyword again, which represents the class itself or the class in which your compiler represent that particular class in which you are writing the program. For an example, now here what I can do is I can pass all my attributes which I'm providing for an example to the other constructor, and I can remove the implementation from here. So what we are trying to do here is from this constructor, I'm making call to this constructor which has two arguments, which is this one. You can see that C# has got one reference now because C# knows that, the compiler knows that with this keyword, the program is going to make call to this constructor. So these two attributes will be set from this constructor, and this one attribute is set from this. So now there are two ways to use it. First, the same, I'm going to use this program, this three value constructor, and I'll show you how does it runs. Let's put a breakpoint here. So I have a breakpoint on all three constructor. So I'm going to press F11. I have a breakpoint here. Now as soon as you can see that the breakpoint is executed, this time the breakpoint has not come here, because before it executes the boundary or the body of this method or this constructor body, basically it goes to the parent or the parent, which in this case the other constructor which has two arguments, and then it goes here, and you can see that the execution is basically setting up the first name value and the last name value, and once that is completed, then it goes to the body of the constructor which has three arguments, and then it is setting the edge value, and we will get a same result as we were getting it earlier. Now it might possible some of your program logic is trying to use or trying to create a person object with one constructor. Some of them are trying to create a person object with two constructor. Let's say that here in this case I'm printing the value of this time. It is directly going to the constructor which has two arguments, setting up these two arguments, and then we are printing the value of both of the first name and last name, basically both the full names, like this. Now there is another type of constructor available with C#. So we could also use the static constructor. with a static keyword like this. Let's take an example of defining or overriding the value of one of the attribute using this static constructor. You can see that the compiler is throwing an error. Here it says that as this is a static constructor, which is in other way it is a static method, so you cannot specify any non-static member in the static class, right? Why you cannot specify the static members in the non-static class? The reason for that is the static members are usually accessed without creating an instance of a class. For an example, if you have a static method, you directly access that static method without creating the instance of that particular class, right? Whereas the non-static members requires an instance to be created in order to access those members. And what we are trying to do here is we are trying to set a non-static member which has a dependency on the object inside the static method which does not have a dependency on the object, right? Now, if we are saying, okay, if this static constructor is something which does not require to be create an object, then why we are using this static constructor? Well, in the case of instantiation or creating an object, static constructor are the special type of constructor which are basically used to execute only once and once if you require to create an object of a class, right? It will never run or make changes. It runs only once. Now, what is the difference between the other type of constructor and the static constructor? You cannot have the overloaded constructor like in the default or the explicit constructor. You can have an overloaded constructor, but in case of a static constructor, you cannot have the overloaded constructor, right? Which means that in a class you can have only one static constructor. You cannot have multiple of them like we have these here. So that's another difference, right? I hope this has given you some idea about the constructors of a classes and how do we use the various types of constructor like overloaded constructor, explicit, implicit constructor, and the static constructor throughout the program. Do let me know if you have any questions and feel free to watch all the other videos available on this topic. Thanks for watching it. See you in the next video.